This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. You thought I forgot about on this day and all that. But yeah, rules are that on a certain day, if I do a topic one year, I can't do it the next. So there's been a big gap between today and the last one I did, November the 2nd. So a 13-day gap has finally been broken. We are going to talk about the 2020 Masters for this day, November 15th. Well, the reason why the Masters was in November was because of COVIDia, aka COVID-19. Of course, it was originally scheduled to start April 9th, my 35th birthday, and go to the 12th, but it was postponed because of the pandemic. However, on April 6th, they said that they would reschedule it for November the 12th. And of course, due to the problems with COVID and all that, Augusta announced that the tournament would be held without spectators. The golfers can compete, but no spectators. So anyway, at the smallest field of the four major championships because of all the COVID and all that. Officially, the Masters remains an invitation event, but there's some criteria and all that. So anyhow, you can get in on many merits. You could be a past Masters champion like Patrick Reed or Jordan Spieth, who would be inducted. Sergio Garcia could have played, but he tested positive for COVID-19. So yeah, Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth played. A lot of past champions didn't play in the championship. You also could compete if you were the winner of the U.S. Open the last 5 years, which Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, and Gary Woodland were part of. Winners of the U.S. of the British Open the last 5 years. So Shane Lowry, Francisco Molinari, and Henrik Stenson all got in on that criteria. Winners of the PGA Championship the last 5 years, Jason Day, Justin Thomas, and Jimmy Walker would get that honor. Or you win the Players Championship the past 3 years, as Kim said, who Rory McIlroy, Webb Simpson could attest to. The winner and runner-up in the 2019 U.S. Amateur would get in, John Augustine and Andy Ogletree. You could also be top 12, also get in, for example, if you've been top 12 finishers and ties in the 2019 Masters, if you haven't got any of the other ones. So there were a lot of people and all that. So round one saw a three-way tie for the lead, which a shocker. Dylan Fratelli from South Africa, who got into the tournament Fratelli got in by way of, how did he get in? I don't know how. They said he didn't. I don't know how he got in, but yeah, Dylan Fratelli was tied with Paul Casey and DJ Dustin Johnson at 7 under par for the lead and all that. So Paul Casey did his job. Play was actually suspended for 3 hours in the first round due to an electrical storm, and 44 players could not compete their first rounds on the Thursday until because the sun had set. But anyway, yeah, Fratelli and Dustin Johnson did it. It's amazing. I don't know how Fratelli got into the Masters, how he qualified for the 2020 Masters. Oh, I guess he won the John Deere Classic in 2019, so he got to compete. So anyway, Justin Thomas was tied with Im Sun Jae of South Korea at 6 under par. No Canadian was there. In the second round, it was a five-way tie for the lead as Abraham Ancer from Mexico, DJ, Dennis Johnson, John Rahm, Cam Smith, and Justin Thomas all were at 9 under par. They were host at 8 under par too. Anyway, it's huge. Bernard Langer, who won the Masters in '85, the first tournament, the first golf major after I was born, and also in 1993, made the cut at 3 under par. And at 63 years old, he was the oldest player in Masters history to make the cut. Amazing, 63. Two amateurs made the cut, John Augustine and Andy Ogletree. So yeah, 60 players would make the cut. Top 50 in ties. Anyway, in the third round, Dustin Johnson had a 65 for the second time in the tournament and had a 4-stroke lead over Answer M and Smith to do his job. DJ did what he could. And at 16 under par after 3 rounds, tied the Masters record set by Jordan Spieth in 2015, and becoming the first player in Masters history, in any player in any Masters, to have 2 rounds of 65 or better in the same tournament. It was just amazing what happened and all that. So the final round happened. DJ had a 4-shot lead, but made consecutive bogeys. And Cam Smith had a fantastic shot on 9 to cut the deficit to 1. However, Johnson would be back to birdie the 6th and had a birdie on the par 5 8th. Took a 2-shot lead to the back 9. He laid up on the par 5 13th and made birdie. Then made a 6-footer on 14th for birdie. And then made a birdie putt on 15 to be the first player in Masters history to reach 20 under par. He would make par on the final 3 holes, and his 20 under par broke the Masters record of 18 under par set by Tiger Woods in 97 and Jordan Spieth in 2015. Amazing. So anyway, Dustin would win by 5 strokes over Im Sung Jae and Cameron Smith. So it wasn't so bad for those 2 guys. Cam Smith did his job, and Im Sung Jae making his Masters debut. Birdied both par 5s in the back 9 to Jordan Smith at 15 under par. DJ's 5-shot margin of victory was the first since Tiger Woods in 1997 to be by 5 strokes or more. Tiger won it by 12 in 97, and he only made 4 bogeys, the fewest ever by a Masters champion. I'm surprised. Not even Tiger and Jordan Spieth had only 4 bogeys in their 4 rounds. Tiger would make a plus 7 on 12. Well, he had 10 strokes on the par 3 12. Hit 3 balls into the water. He did birdie 5 of his last 6 holes, which was shocking. Like, dude had a 10. Take away the 10. Well, it was tied for 38th. Give Tiger Woods a par on that hole. He would have had 280 and tied for 13th. So anyway, that was just huge. Andy Ogletree was the better of the 2 amateurs that made the cut. He finished at -2. Augustine was +3. So anyway, he did his job as Dustin Johnson did it, beating Im Sung Jae and Cameron Smith. Justin Thomas took 4th. Dylan Fertilli tied for 5th with Rory McIlroy. Brooks Koepka, Pan Chen Sun of Taipei, and John Rahm from Spain tied for 7th. And tied for 10th, Canadian Corey Connors from Listowel, Ontario, not far from where I live in Kitchener. Patrick Reed, who was who was a past champion in 2018, tied for 10th alongside Webb Simpson. So that was that. DJ didn't fall flat, as he said. So anyway. They had to make some changes to the media coverage of the Masters, obviously, because the Masters usually was an A-Pro where there's nothing really that distracts people. Major League Baseball would not really distract the CBS and all that. CBS started doing the Masters in 1956. So anyway, they had to start the 4th and final round at 10 in the morning because of CBS's coverage of the NFL, and they wanted the play to conclude before a sunset. So it went from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And to accommodate things, CBS was only assigned the 4 o'clock games and all that. Fox would cover all the early games. And CBS's SEC game on the Saturday, normally 3:30, would be moved to 6 o'clock to accommodate the end of round 3. So anyway, that's what happened and all of that. By the way, the first time since 1963 that there would be no live coverage of the Masters in the UK on free-to-air TV, like free ever. Sky Sports would broadcast it, but that was a pay TV thing. Extended highlights were, however, shown free to air by BBC Sport, with what turned out to be the last major tournament covered by veteran commentator Peter Allis, who does decently for ASG Golf on my stuff, but he died less than a month later. Only 5.5 million viewers would watch the final round of the Masters on November 15, 2020. Well, due to the fact that, Fox had the NFL. It was the least watched final round since 1957. So you could say what you want, but at least they did the tournament. I mean, COVID could have ruined it and canceled it, like Wimbledon. Like Wimbledon was canceled, but not the Masters. So you gotta think about it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond to do